Want more worms in your garden? It's not just about compost or mulch, it's about what you bury underground. And no, it's not what you think. Let's be honest, sometimes your soil just feels dead, hard, dry, empty. You water, you mulch, you even compost, but still, it lacks that rich, alive feeling that truly healthy soil gives. So what's missing? Worms. But where are they? And more importantly, how do you attract them without buying boxes of bait worms online? Here's something most gardeners overlook. Worms love logs. But not just any log, and it's not enough to just leave them lying on the surface. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of deciduous versus evergreen logs, and why burying the right kind in your garden, using an old technique called hugel culture, can explode your worm population and transform your soil from lifeless to legendary. You're about to uncover a forgotten gardening secret. Let's dig in, literally. Here's the simple truth. Deciduous logs rot faster and worms love rot. Trees like maple, elm, birch, and oak drop their leaves each year and grow softer, more fibrous wood. When these logs break down, they're rich in nitrogen, a nutrient earthworms absolutely crave. And because they decompose quickly, they don't just attract worms, they feed them. Compare that to evergreens, like pine, cedar, and spruce, which contain resins and oils that actually repel decomposition. Their wood is dense, resistant, and slow to break down. Worms aren't interested. You could place a pine log in your garden and come back 2 years later, it'll still be mostly intact. No worms, no help. Deciduous logs, though, give them 6 months underground and they'll be full of tunnels, castings, and fungal threads. It's a party under there, and your garden is the winner. Now let's talk about the secret sauce, hugel culture. This isn't new. It's a centuries-old technique from Eastern Europe and Germany that literally means hill culture. But don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Here's the idea. Instead of throwing away your old branches, logs, or garden waste, you bury it underneath your planting beds. You layer organic matter deep into a mound or trench, starting with decaying logs, then smaller branches, twigs, compost, and finally a nice cover of topsoil. And the results? Mind-blowing. As those buried logs break down, they create a moist, nutrient-rich core that acts like a worm resort. It's cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and packed with food. Earthworms move in, multiply, and do what they do best. Aerate the soil, fertilize it, and make it come alive. And yes, deciduous logs are the absolute best material for hugel culture. Their soft, porous wood allows microbes and fungi to thrive first, creating the perfect conditions for worms to follow. Within weeks, you'll notice the difference, not just underground, but in the health of your plants, too. When you bury deciduous logs, you're not just creating space, you're starting a chain reaction of biological activity. First come the fungi and microbes. These invisible workers love damp, dark environments like buried wood. They start breaking down the cellulose and lignin in the logs. This releases nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus into the soil. Next, the worms arrive. They follow the fungal networks, eating both microbes and the softening wood. Their digestive system turns all this matter into worm castings, arguably the best natural fertilizer in the world. Even better, their constant tunneling aerates the soil, loosens compacted ground, and draws in even more organic matter. Compare that to a surface log just sitting in your garden. Sure, it'll eventually rot, but it's dry, exposed, and slow. Worms prefer depth, darkness, and decay. Hugel culture gives them everything they need. Ready to try it yourself? Here's how to make a simple hugel culture-style worm bed using deciduous logs. Dig a trench. Make it about 2 to 3 feet deep and wide. You want plenty of room for logs. Don't worry if your soil is rocky or sandy. This method works in nearly any condition. Alright, now it's time to add your logs. Use decaying deciduous wood. like oak, maple, or elm. You'll want to avoid evergreens or any wood that's been painted, stained, or chemically treated. Just place the logs tightly in the bottom of your trench. Next up, it's time to layer in organic material. Go ahead and add smaller sticks, leaves, straw, and kitchen scraps. If you've got some compost, great, toss it in. If not, no worries at all. Even lawn clippings and shredded newspaper help kickstart decay. Now water generously. This step is really critical. You want the entire mound soaked through, especially the logs. This keeps everything soft and worm-friendly. And if you want, you can also mix a microbial activator. 2 cups unsulfured molasses, 1 tablespoon yeast, and 1 gallon warm water. Pour this right onto the mound. It feeds microbes and speeds up the breakdown of your logs. Alright, so now it's time to cover with soil. Finish by adding about 6 to 12 inches of your top garden soil. You can actually plant directly into this mound right away, or if you prefer, let it sit for a few weeks so decomposition can really get going. Over time, the entire structure will settle, sink, and soften, drawing in worms and enriching your soil without any fertilizer at all. Worms, they really turn your garden into a living ecosystem. Once your hugel culture bed is in place, the results will honestly speak for themselves. Your soil will stay moist for weeks longer during dry spells, your plants will grow faster, stronger, and need fewer chemical inputs, and your garden will start to feel, well, alive. That's what worms do. They create a living network of tunnels and nutrients beneath your feet. They break down hard-to-digest organic matter and turn it into soft, black humus. They balance pH, eliminate compaction, and even protect roots from disease by improving microbial diversity. And all you had to do was bury some logs. You might be wondering, can I use pine or fir if that's all I've got? Short answer, not ideal. So, evergreen woods are packed with resins, oils, and natural insecticides that make them resistant to decay. That might sound great for building fences, but honestly it's not so great if you're hoping to attract worms. These woods break down slowly, repel fungi, and, well, they just don't offer much food value for soil life. In fact, some evergreens, like cedar, can even suppress plant growth because of allelopathic compounds they release. That's really the opposite of what you want in a hugel culture bed. If you must use evergreen logs, try mixing them with plenty of green, nitrogen-rich matter, like fresh grass or manure, and, give the pile some time to age before planting. But for best results, well, you should stick with deciduous wood every time. So here's the truth. The secret to better soil isn't in a bottle or a bag. It's under your feet, in the form of rot, worms, and buried logs. Deciduous wood, when used the hugel culture way, creates the ultimate environment for worms to thrive. And when worms thrive, so does your garden. You don't need fancy tools or expensive inputs, just a shovel, some logs, and a little trust in nature's process. Bury the right kind of wood, keep it moist, and let the worms do what they've done for millions of years. Build soil from the inside out. For more soil secrets, regenerative gardening tips, and worm-powered hacks, make sure to stay plugged in to Soil and Crop Central. We're here to help you dig deeper, because the best gardens always start underground.